everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I go ahead and give my top 10 tips that I personally use when running. I've had really good runs and I've had really bad runs, such as running for 8 miles and such as running for only less than 1 mile. And I find that using these top 10 tips help me personally in becoming a better runner. And so this might not apply to everyone, but it definitely applies to me. So starting off at number 1, we're here in my bed, and that is to get a lot of rest. So I like to run soon after I get out of bed. I don't like running at night, and I don't like running after working for 6 to 8 hours. So I do that because I have a lot of energy, because I am well rested and I am ready. So there's even been times where I have to work at 9 or 8, and I'll wake up at 6 a.m. sometimes just to get a run in before work, because if I'm working like 8 to 4, I'm gonna be dead trying to run at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So number 1, get a lot of rest. So tip number 2 is to eat 1 to 2 hours before you run. So personally, I like to eat a lot of carbs before my run. So I like to eat bagels with peanut butter, toast and peanut butter. Right now I've been eating this Special K protein cereal, or I'll just find something like that, because I find that eating some form of carbohydrate an hour to 2 hours before my run helps me best. I've tried eating fruit, it doesn't really help that much. Granola bars I find work better, and I really like to run about an hour and a half after I eat, because if I get a little excited and want to run a little early, then it'll be an hour. If I don't want to run, I'm just like, then I can wait at least an extra half hour and run after 2 hours of eating. But I find that running an hour or less before I run, I'm still full and my stomach hurts, and I find that running 2 hours after, I get a little hungry towards the end of my run. So once again, eat 1 to 2 hours before you run and find what works best for you. Personally, for me, it's a form of carbohydrate. My third piece of advice is to drink a lot of water, and I am talking a lot, like minimum 32 ounces, sometimes even up to 64 ounces, just depends on how dehydrated you are. But I always use the bathroom at least 3 times before I end up running, because I want to make sure I'm super hydrated. You don't want to be running about 3 or 4 miles in, or however much you can push yourself, and end up feeling thirsty. You don't want to feel dehydrated, so just drink as much water as you can, and there's almost no such thing as too much water unless you drink like 3 gallons. Tip number 4, clothes and accessories are important. So you don't want these little annoyances to build up while you run and just drag you down. So for example, I have an Apple Watch Series 3 which has GPS, cellular, and Bluetooth. Those mixed with my Bluetooth headphones means I don't have any wires and I don't have a phone on me. And there's other small things, like I don't wear my earrings when I run, and I don't like to wear tall socks when I run. So I like to dress as comfortably as possible and with as little as possible, so that way I can be lightweight and just sort of cut through the wind and run more comfortably. So tip number 5 is a debatable tip, but I find it works best for me, and that is to stretch before you run. And after doing that, I feel very loose and ready for my run. And so after that, I just drink some more water, and then I run. Alright, so we're about to go ahead and start a run, but in case anyone is curious, I like to use the Nike Run Club app on my watch and on my phone, because I find that app is best for me. Tip number 6 is to start slow, get faster, and end fast. So for the first 5 or so minutes, I should be able to run at a sort of pace like this, where I can continue talking and have a conversation. And I'll do that for 5 to 10 minutes, and after that, that's when I'll pick it up just a little more. And then by the end of my race, I'm sprinting. While you are running, you want to stay focused. You don't want to get distracted or think about the run. You just want to go with it, whether that's listening to music or that's thinking about random things, whatever it is. Just don't think about running and do what works best for you to continue running and not want to give up. Okay, I'm definitely shooting this out of order, but tip number 8, I think we're on tip number 8. Tip number 8 would be to run what you can and then some. If someone can run a marathon, good for them, but run what you can and then some. If you can only run for 1 minute, like a tenth of a mile, run that tenth of a mile proudly and then some. So aim for 0.2 miles or aim for a quarter mile. So run what you can and then a little more. If I can only run 3 miles, I'll run like 3 1/4. If I can only run 8, I'll run 8 1/4, you know? So run what you can and then some, because you wanna push yourself. Tip number 9, I mentioned it lightly in tip number 8, and that is to compare yourself only to yourself and not to other people. Seriously, it is good for someone else if they can run a marathon, but that doesn't matter. If you can only run a certain amount, whether it's half a mile, 6 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, run what you can and compare yourself to yourself. Think about the runs you've had and compare yourself that way. If you can run longer than you can a week ago, or if you can run a little faster than you can a week ago, or yesterday, or a year ago, that's good. You have to congratulate yourself, because this is not a team sport. This is not a competitive sport. It is only competitive to yourself, and that is why I love running, because it allows me to test myself and better myself, and I don't have to worry about what some Olympian or what some friend of mine can run, because as long as I can run better than I can last week or yesterday, then I'm happy. And so with that, we are on tip number 10, and that is to just have fun. Exercising and running shouldn't be something you feel obligated to do or something you hate doing. It should be at a point in which it's very fun and enjoyable, where you want to run. So don't push yourself too much and don't stress out too much about running and wanting to lose weight or wanting to stay in shape. Just get to that point where you enjoy running, and you might actually end up looking forward to waking up the next day to go out and run. Just have fun and make sure that you live a healthy lifestyle and not a lifestyle that you feel like you're forced into doing. And so with that said, these are my 10 tips that I find best when running for myself, and I find that this allows me to become a better runner. So if you found these tips helpful, or if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.